Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the OK Grognard Show. It is Saturday, June 6, 2020, 9:30 a.m. Central in beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. We're going to continue where we picked up last week with Conan the Adventurer animated series reviews, Season 1, this week, Episode 2, known as Blood Brothers. Let's pop down the sound, make sure that's off. There we go. As we recall, Conan's family had been turned to stone by the ever-dangerous Rath Amon. And then he had been tricked into becoming a slave aboard a Stygian slave ship. All really bad. Don't forget, though, none of this happened until after his family in their tribal Samaria had managed to collect a bunch of rocks, meteors, star rocks as they call them, star stones, and taken them and made them into a sword. Well, Rath Amon needs all of those swords, all those star stones, to make these top rings for pyramids, 7 of them, to open up a portal to another dimension whereby Set could come back into this world. Because let us not forget that it was Conan's mentor, I guess, Epimetheus the sage, who Conan had found the tomb of, and who was able to communicate with him about what the sorcerers of old had done. And what they had done is banded together and forced Set into this other dimension. And now this dimension is where the snake people came from. Rath Amon, chief among them. Rath Amon being a sorcerer. All of these other snake people that he winds up fighting cannot help. Now, see, that's huge. Can he fight a shark that big? I guess he can. He needs air. Oh, there you go. It's not gonna... Will it accidentally hook? Yep, back onto the slave ship. So you only get so far when you try to escape from a Stygian slave ship. But, of course, we know that his buddy there, who will probably be his blood brother, Zula, is also enslaved on the Stygian slave ship, and they need to be together. Interesting that Rath Amon, who hasn't appeared yet except in like little flashbacks and in the opening credits, although he's coming up soon, right, is voiced by the same actor as Zula, Scott McNeil, one of the few of the Canadian voiceover actors that works on this show that was not actually born in Canada. So there you go. And that is a phoenix that Epimetheus had gifted to Conan, hidden within the shield so that people wouldn't become suspicious. And don't forget now that crazy needle, which is the name of its, voiced by Michael Beatty, is a magical creature and has a lust for pomegranates. So let's not forget that either. Can't help himself. That's an obvious plot device to throw in there when you want a little comedy, a little comic relief, when you want to create some conflict. There you go. Having trouble bringing the keys over. This is the second attempt to escape. Well, look at this. Says this guy with the suspiciously long fingernails. If that's not a tip-off. Then I don't know what is. So now the slaver has his sword and the magical phoenix. But meanwhile, we get a chance to look at Rath Amon. He now has Conan and Zula at his mercy. Here, by the way, are all of the things that they carried with them. They've got to be worth something too, so he's perfectly happy to sell those along with. But you know what? You get near the sword, and if you're a snake person, that aura that you were wearing to disguise yourself as a human gets removed, and you get shown up for what you are. So there you go. That's got to be freaking Zula out. I think that's the first time he's seen that. Conan, on the other hand, fought a number of these, and this is not news to him. Don't forget, our buddy Rath Amon has that black snake ring through which he casts various spells and magics. Good for him. Quite dangerous. It's a nasty, nasty thing. So all in all, the animation on this, very consistent, right? Showing magic is well done. Flames in the back, pretty well done. All of the sets, the environments, good angles, well done. Perspectives, well done. Rath Amon, much bigger than the slaver. Hey, what happened to the phoenix I had in here? It's gone. Don't forget, he can hide as part of an object. Uh-oh. Don't worry. It's a phoenix. It can deal with fire. Okay, they knocked over a brazier. Uh-oh. Slam him. Did not turn him to stone like his family, like his grandfather and father and mother. Just knocked him down. Do we know what sort of spell that is? Just a you're unconscious spell. So if he's got control, oh, by the way, that's coming up. They do these in-between things before and after commercials. If Rath Amon has control of so many different armies, and the snake people who are faking their way as humans on this world. What are they building? They're building the pyramids. Of course they are. They have to build 7 of these pyramids, get all the star stones, refashion those into these rings that go on the tops of each pyramid to then be able to cast the spell that creates the portal that brings back Set, the snake god. Now that was a Stygian guard. It is voiced by same fellow who voices Dregs, which is that kind of snake comic relief for Rath Amon, and the Wasai King, which I believe is the king of Zulu's tribe. So no problem for the Phoenix. There's Dregs we talked about. Dregs now spots the Phoenix. Dregs will follow and attempt to capture, or we'll roll a critical fumble, as they say in 5th edition. Uh-oh, look out. Inadvertently, Phoenix gets tired. Okay, just from flying around a bit. Alright, well, we know we can hide in a shield. Bam. So, wings on hips, is that a thing? It's an interesting affectation. This is our food? Why, there are maggots in it. I won't eat this slop, everyone else will. I like that touch, though. Doing an animation of maggots in the food is a pretty good move. Good story choice, good animation choice. This is magic I have. Okay. Rune magic. There's a story thing to introduce for Zula, the ability to create runes and cast magic by them. And he is thereafter able to create a sort of a couple of monkeys, summon a monkeys, or did he actually create them? Are they some sort of spirit monkeys, or are they real monkeys that have just been... I'm guessing they're from his home, and because he has to be able to know what he's summoning, whether it's here or afar. They're probably not native to Stygia, so that's potentially a problem if you're using this sort of thing in game. They could be seen, they could be spotted, it could be recognized that they're not from around here. Of course, everybody gets a little stronger down in the cell. Thank you, Zula, for casting the spell. Alright. We're all going to organize. We're going to escape together. We use the nets off the blocks of stone. We'll use the ropes they actually let us use to drag the stones. A nice double tackle there. That's good animation for sure. Celebrating the end zone there. Uh-oh. Not you two. That whole knocking the noggins together was comedic. Now notice once again, these Stygian guards, humans, not turned into snake people. So I guess in the 90s, 93 we're talking here, right? Standards and practices, or whatever the whatever it's called in there in Canada. must have some rules about whether somebody can kill somebody else, right? If they see the magic sword when he's fighting them and turn back into snakes, then when he chops them down, if you remember from last episode, they are magically transported up into the air through the portal back into the other dimension when he strikes them down with the magic star sword. So, is it possible for this fire to get as hot as Conan's father's forge? Because Conan's father's forge is what was used to melt the star metal in the first place and make it into the sword. Question then is this forge, or cauldron, or whatever we want to call it, is this capable of getting hot enough to do the reverse of what the forge did in Samaria? Did he pull out the sword just there? Now that, in and out from the commercials. Well, there's Epimetheus. Okay, that in and out from the commercials is a callback from the first episode. Zulu's completely armed now. So Rath Amon was about to use a sword on him. Had he pulled that sword out of the cauldron? Okay. Now our little buddy Needle gets to get Dregs back by biting him on the tail. So he had that coming. That's the comeuppance shot that you build into the script, I guess, right? He chased him earlier and nearly caught him. A well-placed shot. Ooh, bolas. Are these his own? Is this something he's used to using? Apparently, he throws it like a pro. Are they magical? Are they created from the same Starstone stuff? Are they turning him back into a snake creature from a human creature? Alright, so it got really hot. Conan saved it, threw it back in, but I see a pommel there, so there's a little... See, he's got that leather handle right around there. Even if it was wood, it still should have been burnt away. So that's kind of a forgivable. Do we take the time in the story to go through all that? I don't think so. That's, is it an oversight? Maybe. More likely it was considered and said, we're not going to take 5 minutes to explain how fire works on a pommel and stuff. Alright, he gets his shield. Needle jumps back onto it. That's kind of his home base. And away he goes. The whole place is up in arms. Only these two escaping, though. We've got explosions going on all over the place. We've got actual snake men guards, not just slaver guards, which apparently are not as armored, right? These guys have some super armor on. We will stand and fight. Okay, that's a choice. Very good. Well, I'm going to create a quick rune, throw a little magic here. That's a good idea. We're going to stand and fight. Let's get a little prep here. Buff spell, was it? What did he throw? Again, okay. Notice that. Oh, okay. I don't remember the armor staying before. But if you want the bolos to stay, then you have to decide, does all the equipment go? No. So they get sucked out into the other dimension. Here come my buddies. Okay, so the spell he cast was another summoning spell. Seems to be his specialty. And when he summons something, it's lions, and lions this time is what he summoned. A whole pride Don't worry, they're friends of mine. See? Now, did we notice how big that lioness was compared to the horse before? Because when these lions come up to them, now that's a bit of a continuity error there. And here comes there's the king, right? And this was... Oh, I see. He's like the guy who gets to appoint the chief. Oh, but wait. Gee, I wonder. So if he's actually the chief or the head warrior that the king is crowning as the champion, and the other guy wanted to be champion, do we have to assume that the other guy tipped off the slavers to Zula and caused him to be captured and then forsaken, so he'll sneak off? So it's always good, even in situations like this where you've got this sort of other kingdom, to have some conflict whereby there is, and he's got a mirror for talking, communicating, right? So we got spies. Got to have spies in every kingdom if you're Rath Amon and you're attempting to do this world-changing, bring a god from another dimension project. And of course, if you're going to have a giant mirror, he's not going to be tiny in the back of it, right? So let's make his face big. There's the horse he tamed. I don't think that's with him. Obviously, he came on the slave ship. That was from first episode. So the in and out. And then we come back and we're on theme song. Conan, warrior without fear. He does all these things, and then there's a little talk through about his family having been turned to stone by Rath Amon, who he has to thwart from getting all the star stones so that he can keep Set from coming back. There they are, turned to stone. Reminder of that. And I'll tell you what, really good. Really pretty well put together. I like how they remind us everything that's going on using the opening and closing credits. 92 it says, as you saw. The animation for combat's actually pretty good, pretty fluid. And now, see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 buddies for Conan. And we have Zula, just one of them. So I don't doubt that what we're going to see in Stars of Shadowzar, Grey Wolf of Xanthus, or some other upcoming episodes from this Disc 1 are going to be Shadow Walker, Conan the Gladiator, in the Heart of Rakir. This is all Disc 1. 7 of the 13 episodes of Season 1. I have no doubt what we're going to see on these are going to be gathering up the 4 companions, creating the adventuring party. Right? We don't just have them all meet in a tavern at the beginning, because that's not Conan's story. On the other hand, if we want to create some not just diversity but also variety in the episodes, we've got to have multiple good characters, multiple allies of Conan. And so we created sort of adventuring party, and we have to use Season 1 to build it up. Others that are interested for various reasons in thwarting Rath Amon. So there you go. That was Season 1, Episode 2. That was Blood Brothers. of Conan the Adventurer animated series. This has been a review of that episode. I'd say overall we give it a thumbs up. It's pretty good animation, 1992. It's Canadian production. It's I have to take my word on it. It's good voiceover work. But we look at the animation and we discuss the story as it goes forward. There's only a few times when we thought there were some issues in regard to continuity. The handle of the sword that was in the fire, for instance. But I think we don't call that a continuity error so much as we say, hey, this was something they chose not to spend extra time on. It doesn't further the story to spend a lot of extra time on it, so why bother doing it? So all in all, pretty good. It may be that this gets knee-jerk slapped down by the YouTube censors immediately because they have to decide whether or not it's a review or not. They did this last week with the first one. I had to dispute their muting of it, hiding of it. I don't think the other one can be monetized, and that's fine. I don't care. I don't need them monetized. But it is a review. It is not a direct replacement for the episode because it is a it is with sound down. Let's not forget also, and I'll put this in the notes, that it is also video content, copyright, Media One Thematics, Hasbro Studios LLC, presented without sound for review purposes as fair use with no infringement intended. So let's keep that in mind and know that, if they put a hold on it, I'll dispute it. A few days later, hopefully it'll be up, and then we'll be back up and running on that. Let us take a quick look at the rest of the schedule. Sunday, tomorrow, Rules Retrospective. We'll be continuing with DM David N. Prada's version 2.2 2006 Initiative and Combat Rules for Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. It goes through 86, the Wilderness Survival Guide, so it is indeed first edition Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. Monday, we'll do the weekly news. We'll talk more about Harryhausen Day coming up on the 29th of June, and we'll also be doing a giveaway of another copy of the Antonio Banderas 13th Warrior DVD. Cartography and World Building on Tuesday. Campaign discussion on Wednesday, with a focus on my own setting of Grimwald. Crafting and painting come Thursday. We're hard at work and plowing through those catapults now. Now that we found the extra, we've got 10 of those to get through. June, we'll continue with those. We'll go to building virtual tabletop adventures on Friday and back around for episode 3 of the animated Conan series on Saturday, episode 3 of season 1. So thank you very much for joining us. If you join us in the Twitch channel, make sure that you follow us and chime in during an actual stream broadcast, because that automatically gets you added to the list of people eligible for the giveaway, which we do on Mondays. This week, again, 13th Warrior DVD, Antonio Banderas, great movie. If you're catching up with this on YouTube, please do subscribe. Give us a thumbs up, thumbs down, comment, whatever you feel is best. We'd love your feedback. We appreciate it very much. And no matter how you're watching us, thank you for checking out the OK Grognard Show. It is much appreciated. Have a great day. Stay safe and healthy.